Coupe de Calais. DRC Congo are through to the quarterfinals of AFCON 2023 after winning 8-7 on penalties against Egypt. And guys, that entire side of the bracket, Egypt, DRC, I predicted the two of them, actually Egypt and Equatorial Guinea, to go through. The two of them are out. Guinea and DRC are through. They meet in the quarterfinal. But my bracket is busted unless Nigeria beats one of them, right? And we are back in action, right? Because the winner of that, which means actually Guinea or DRC, one of them is going to make the semifinals. I think for the first time ever. Then they'll meet. Nigeria will play Angola, the winner of that. Let me not even say Nigeria will win. Angola is a very good team. They might just shock people. Yeah, man, this game. First half, drama. Second half, just dead. It was just not, that was just the second half. Extra time, a bit of drama with the red card. And then obviously we get to penalties. Let's just start in the beginning. Kakuta did not play this game. So at first I was like, wow, what is going to happen? Because they have a they're so used to playing through him, right? He's the hub, creative attack. Bongonda just complements his ball playing or playmaking abilities. But they just switched to, it was now all pace. Because honestly, if you look at this team, Egypt, they're not the quickest. They had I think it was Fatou at left back. Then you have Abdelmonem, Hegazi, Hani. Not the quickest players. So you can catch them with that ball over the top. Quick play, and if they play a high line, you're breaking through their defensive line. So that was the game plan all through. To start the game off, Hegazi had one of, we all thought it was offside, but it wasn't. So it was just a bad miss. Like the cross came in, and he just missed badly. He actually just missed badly. And it's not being said enough because everyone thought it was offside, but it was a bad miss. And I think if they went 1-0 up at that time, this would have been a completely different game. Egypt were a bit frustrated. About three or four calls were not going their way, like those 50-50s. Then DRC's fast 50-50, they're given a free kick. And you could tell I was anticipating them to be a bit on the edge and start arguing and all of that, but they didn't. They actually controlled their tempers, and they were quite solid after that. And I was actually impressed by them because in that scenario, it's very easy to lose your mind, But yeah, bigger picture was in mind for all of them. Then obviously, DRC scored a controversial goal. Quick throw-in. Who had the throw-in? It was a quick throw-in from, I can't remember who it was, but he threw it to Yohan Visa. Visa shot, deflection, and Elia has a free header, point blank. That's the easiest goal he's going to score. But they went to VR to check the goal. Now, this was my issue with this particular goal. Why VR could not overturn it. Not my issue, this is the law. Normally, if something happens on the field and play is still going on and there's a VR check, they wait for the ball to go out and then they check the VR, right? So play stops. Once play resumes, you cannot go back to that call, right? You cannot go back to that call. So the thing with this particular goal was that Egypt were contending the fact that it was DRC who knocked the ball out. But once they throw the ball into play, that's a different phase of play. VR cannot go and change another phase of play. The previous phase of play was the ball going out. But that is my understanding of VAR. And if I'm wrong, please, I'm willing to be corrected. But from what I understand, that's a different phase of play. VR can only check from when the ball comes into play and that period of play until it goes out again. It can only check that chunk of play. So for me, obviously the ball came out at DRC player. We could all see it. But VAR could not go back and actually make that call because it's a different phase of play. So yeah, that's how Elia's goals stayed. And then a few minutes later, exactly 7 minutes later, 5 minutes later actually, Egypt get a penalty. It wasn't really called at first because it was just a set piece. The ball goes into the D, people are just fighting in there, and then Hegazi is clipped on the head. To be honest, I have seen these not given. But, in the South Africa game when they played Mali, same thing happened. There was contact with the head. It was not seen by the ref. VR called the ref afterwards when the player is being treated, and then they gave the penalty after that. The next one that I remember from, which game was it? I think it was Equatorial Guinea. Was it Equatorial Guinea? I think it was Equatorial Guinea, or it was someone. I can't remember which game it was. But there was also head contact. There was head contact, and the handball. I can't remember which game it was. You guys can remind me in the comment section. There was this one where the player put the ball, his hand in the air, but then he made contact with the guy's head, and the guy actually bled a lot. VAR went and checked it and gave the penalty. Well, officially they say it was for the handball, but I honestly didn't see a handball, so I think it was for the head clash. But either way, both those things happened in the same play: head contact and a handball. Well, handball. So for this one, again, as I've said, it's very easy to not give the penalty. But again, VAR and officials at AFCON have been amazing because there is consistency. They are very consistent with every single call that they make. There's been precedents of head contact, unnecessary head contact, especially arms in the air. What are they doing in the air? They've been giving those penalties. So for them to give this penalty, again, consistency. That is all we ask for. We ask for consistency. It could be a contentious call, but if you're going to give one person, give everyone, which is what they've been doing. So I have no issues with that. And obviously, Mohamed makes it 1-1. Again, this game was just, after that, people went into halftime. Actually, no, something very weird happened, actually. I have never seen this happen before. When they came out for the second half, a player got injured upon coming onto the field. So he came onto the field and he sat down on the field. Game has not restarted. That's the left back, Fatu. And it was such a weird occurrence because how do you just walk into the field, you're warming up, then you're warming up for the second half, the ball is in the middle, you're about to start, and then you just go down. Like, it was, I have honestly never seen that in my life. So yeah, that was literally the only action in the second half. Like, if you're watching highlights, don't even watch the second half. Just forward to extra time. Now, towards the end of the game, now, Egyptians started tackling. Their tackles started becoming a bit feisty, and that is what led to, they got 3 yellow cards after that, just from stupid fouls. And then Hamdi had just come on. He's the one who came on at halftime, actually. He got his first yellow card in the 66th minute and then got his second yellow card in the 97th minute in extra time. And that was the one that gave him a red card. And from there, that point on, you knew Egypt was just going to park the bus because I think it was the last AFCON. They went from the round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals, all to the final, just penalties. They went through penalties the entire tournament. And you can see how they're just comfortable in that area. So then we moved to penalties. The person who scored in the game, Mustafa Mohamed, missed his penalty. I was like, yo. And then Masuaku comes on. Masuaku has the chance to give DRC the lead. What does Masuaku do? Masuaku, the set piece specialist in this team, decides to sky it over as well. Over the bar. And at that point, I was like, this is the worst penalty shootout I've ever seen. Just when I was saying that in my head, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then everyone scored the next 12 penalties until the goalkeeper, Gobaski, came and just blazed over. I don't even know where that was going. The man who replaced El Shenawi, who just had surgery on his hand. Get well soon, by the way. But the man of the moment was M'Pasi, who stood up to slot in the penalty to send DRC to the quarterfinal of AFCON 2023. Let's go, DRC! Coupe de Calais, coupe de Calais, coupe de Calais.